Well, as I pondered what to talk about today, being a mother myself, I could come up with all types of things. And in my time with the Lord, He revealed to me two things, actually. One, He wanted me to talk about how valuable you are. A lot of times we as women don't understand the value in us. We don't understand how important we are. And even our very nature, how God created us, we don't understand the significance of that. And so God wanted me to share with you all, when you leave out of this room, the goal is that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are important, that you are beautiful, that you're just magnificent, wonderfully designed by God. He wants you to know that. He don't want you to sell yourself short anymore. Today is the day that you make up in your mind, I will not sell myself short from what God really originally intended for my life to be. And so I started thinking, so that was the first thing He said. He said, the second thing I want to do is I want to bring about healing in their lives, not just the women, but the men too. Because this is Mother's Day, and honestly, men are, the way they treat women, it arrives by the way they treat their mothers or the way their mothers treated them. And sometimes the effect that it has when a man or a male child has a distant relationship with his mother, sometimes it has an adverse effect in a relationship with a female. And there's so many ways that it shows that way. It's not his fault. It's not anybody's fault other than the fact that the enemy really has used lack of understanding to cause men and women to disrespect their position as husbands and wives or mothers and fathers. And so God wanted two things to happen today. One, He wants the women to know that you are valuable, that you are priceless. There's nothing that can compare, no money, no nothing in this earth that can compare to what He created and designed you to be. The second thing is He wants to bring about healing, not just for females, but for male and female, because He understands that we all have come from parents that did not come, or when we came into the earth, there was no manual. And so our parents kind of had to do the best they could. And sometimes we kind of judge what they did and think that they could have did much better. Theoretically, they could have. However, you're not that parent, and you don't know what they went through coming up before you came along. And so those are the two things He really wanted us to kind of focus on today. This is God speaking, and so I guess if I had to have a title, it's a word from God for the mothers. A word from God for the mothers. Now, what is a mother? Well, she's a doctor. She's a nurse. She takes care of her children. I can remember, staying up when the wee hours of the morning, trying to break fevers and cleaning up throw up and, just cuddling because my child would not stop crying and I didn't know how to stop him. They're a doctor. They're a nurse. They're compassionate and caring. They're a friend and a confidant. They give their children advice whenever needed. They're a house manager. They organize their home to make it a real loving and caring and a comfortable place. They're an encourager. They will encourage every child that they have to deal with the tests, the trials, and the tribulations that will come in their life. They're actually a lawyer. Believe it or not, a mother is a lawyer. And the reason why I say that is she is an advocate for her children. She will fight tooth and nail for her kids. She's a lawyer. She's a counselor. She listens to all the challenges and complaints that the child has. They're always complaining. Kids come up, Ma, sissy did this, or Ma, my brother did this, or Ma, my girlfriend, or whatever. They're always complaining. So she's a counselor. She's a protector. And y'all know, don't nobody hit your baby. Because if somebody hit your baby, somebody dying. Mothers will kill. They will kill to protect their child. She's a teacher. She will always teach her children in the ways of the Lord, hopefully, and if not, in the ways of the world, in terms of understanding the world. She is a go-getter. She's determined to provide for her child, even if it means that she lacks all things. She's determined to provide for her kids. Think about all the times you give up for your kids. You know, some people will give you a gift, give you money, and they'll turn around and buy something for the kids before they would buy for themselves, because that's just a mother. She's an accountant, an extreme shopper. She will find a deal she'll find a deal out of nowhere. She is an extreme shopper. She's an intercessor. She's always interceding for her children, believing God to fix them, to correct them, to change them, to help them. She's an intercessor. She's always crying out to God, Lord, help me with this child. She's an intercessor. She's a nurturer. And what a nurturer does is it helps to develop and to grow. And so she grows and develops her children, spirit, soul, and body. She wants to grow them, spirit, soul, and body. And Proverbs 22, verse 6 talks about train up a child in the way they should go. And when they depart, it says, or when they are old, they will not depart. And as nurturers, what we do is you give us a house, we'll make it a home. You give us food, we'll make it a meal. You give us a job, and we'll make it a career. She can even see a struggle in someone, and actually, she will see potential. A mother is a nurturer. She is also a life giver. She's a giver of life. She brings forth life in everything that she does. If you think about it, every person in the Bible and even in this world came by way of a mother. That's interesting if you really think about it. I mean, that is huge. In fact, I have read somewhere, actually, it's, let's see, where did I read that? I read where God himself labors. I thought we were the only one that labors, but God himself actually labors. It says actually in Galatians 4:19, and I'll read it in the NIV, it says, "My dear children, for whom I am again in the pains of childbirth until Christ is formed in you." So think about that. I never thought about that. The creator of the universe is in labor. And what is he in labor for? He's in labor that Christ be formed in us. So I thought that was pretty awesome to know that us as women are like on the same line as God in a sense. We're not God, but on the same line as we're all in his image. But the fact that he also travails, he's also in labor. And think about it when you're in labor as a female. When you first get that first pain, oh my God, it's like, oh my God, you just want to sometimes die because it's horrible. It is horrific. And just like Pastor was saying, it's probably the closest that you can get to death. It is a pain that is undescribable. It's a pain that is just, it is, look, somebody said, ooh. I'm sorry, we got a pregnant woman here, a pregnant mom here that's about to go through. But amazingly, now this is interesting because actually she has a little boy now. And you would think that because of that pain is so excruciating, you would think that you would never go through it again. In fact, we say that, I'll never do it again. We always do that. We say that. We got a sister over here. How many you got over? You got 3, 4. Oh my gosh, she went through it 4 times. With joy. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. And you have how many? 3 children. My goodness. You got 5. You went through it 5 times. Oh, God bless your heart. 5 times she went through it. And, oh, Lord. And she had twins. Can you imagine pushing something out that big and that little thing and the pushing it? Just Yeah, well, we don't have any kids here, so y'all know what I'm talking about. But that is amazing. It is amazing. But the fact that God himself is travailing, that says something. That is awesome. That is really very, very awesome. Okay, so she's also a life giver, as I said. Every person in the Bible, as I said, was a mother, and even, here in this earth. And God uses women to carry, to birth, to nurture that which only was a thought in his mind. Listen at that. He uses women to carry, birth, and nurture that which was only a thought in his mind. And when he was ready to do something special or something new and unique, that's when he used us to birth it into the earth. Think about that for a minute. Because, see, the thing about God is everything he does is very intentional, very deliberate. He thinks it through. And so he thought it through before it even came into fruition. But the thing about it is he used us to bring about his plan. That's an honor. That says a lot. And then notice what he said. He said in Genesis, he said, be fruitful and multiply. Now, he said it to Adam and Eve, but we know that we need it. And Eve, by the way, stands for life. Eve, and which is interesting because Adam actually named Eve life, even before he even knew what she was going to do. Just like when he did the animals, he named all the animals. And it's so interesting when you think of, elephant, it looks like an elephant. I mean, God gave him supernaturally the ability to name something, to call it forth, and it ended up being the way it is. So she's a life giver. And I don't know about y'all, but that is an honor to be in that process with God. And if you think about it, carrying the baby, because we talked about she carries, she births, and then she nurtures. Carrying the baby, that is huge, very huge. One, you got this big belly. I mean, you got this heavy weight. Can you imagine carrying, some of the babies are 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds, carrying the baby in your womb. And he said, no, 9 months. I mean, to hear 9 months carrying something, that's a long time. And then not only that, but the baby's growing and stretching the baby. I mean, stretching the mother's belly. And then she has to birth it out. And we talked a little about how that feels. That is not a comfortable thing, to birth out the child. But even though medical technology is advanced, they can only assist in processing processing of the implanting of an embryo. But it takes a mother to bring forth that which is planted. It takes a mother to bear it forth, to bring it forth. Can you imagine that? Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but that is dynamic. This little human, this vessel bringing forth creation like that is a miracle. And God chose you to do it. He chose us to do it. And the things that we went through in life to even make sure, because we talked about what a mother does, all the things, the sacrifices and everything that we make or we have made, it says a lot about who we are. We are very strong, very intelligent. I remember, I was 15 when I got pregnant, 16 when I had them, and I didn't have money. And so what I had to do is my child needed diapers. And what I did is I made a makeshift diaper. And what I did is I took like a T-shirt. You know how a T-shirt goes like that, a long T-shirt. And I would fold this part up on the baby, take the arms, wrap it around, and then tie it up. That was his diaper. A mother will find a way to make it happen. She will find a way to make sure her babies are taken care of. Because just like God looks after us, we're an example of that, how he looks after us. I mean,